On to our next topic at hand. As if the EA Battlefield 2 story does not end, we got another story here. Reported from Polygon.com by Michael McGuire. EA explains why while Battlefront 2 didn't focus on cosmetics and loot boxes. EA's confusing and controversial in-game economy for Star Wars Battlefront 2 was so unpopular with the fans of the franchise, the publisher was forced to rip it out in the game purchases from the game. Just hours it officially launched, so why did EA and DICE opt for a complex economy for credits, crystals, craft parts, and star cards instead of, say, cosmetic skins for its heroes? In part, it seems it was due to concerns of violating the Star Wars canon. Let me read the quote. Actually, I said that. The one thing we were focused on is that this is, I think, quoted from Chief Financial Officer Blake Jorgensen. The one thing we were focused on, and they are extremely focused on, is not violating the canon of Star Wars. An amazing brand that's been built for many, many years. And so if you did any bunch of cosmetic things, you might start to violate the canon, right? Darth Vader in white probably doesn't make sense versus in black. Not to mention you probably don't want Darth Vader in pink. No offense to pink, but I don't think that's right in the canon. So there's might be things that we can do cosmetically, and we're working with Lucasfilms on that. But coming to it, it was as easy. It wasn't as easy if we're building a game around our own IP, where it didn't really matter. It matters in Star Wars because Star Wars fans want realism, because Star Wars fans may also want to tailor things, a different color lightsaber, things like that. So you might see some of that. End quote. And I'll post a.
Out of all the things that has come out about this game, this is the one that I vehemently call bullshit on. First and foremost, we're talking about continuity here, and you're worried about continuity, yet all the heroes and villains can interact with one another.
Yeah.
If I can have Rey fight Darth Maul,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up about continuity. Secondly, the first game had cosmetic shit. You could change this. You could change the alien skin of each fucking character.
Yeah, that's very true.
You could remove helmets and whatnot. Shut the fuck up about continuity. No one gives a shit about that kind of continuity. Like you have a system within the game where each class basically all of the assault classes, the first gun essentially shoots the exact same, regardless that they're different models of guns. They shoot the exact same. They have the exact same stats. Okay, if that's the case, then why can't I just choose a different model for the gun, a skin for the gun, if you will? Same for the hero. Such bullshit on this one. I can't call bullshit harder enough on this one.
My question is, if you can do cosmetics in the first game, why didn't the change to why didn't it happen in the second game? And a part of me is saying that because Disney wants to promote Star Wars movie that's coming out, and they want to make sure that it's aligns perfectly with the movie as well as the game in some capacity. But I
mean, if they wanted to do that, Anthony, then they shouldn't have had a system built in where you can level up classes. That wouldn't have been a smart move.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the previous, if you look at the previous, the first two Battlefront games, the way that those were designed was that you would go into a battle on Kashyyyk, and if you were playing either as the droids or the stormtrooper, or the clone troopers, and each group had a set group of characters you could play as, or not characters but classes. And they were baseline, they were just that. But then if the next match was on Hoth, then you'd have rebels and stormtroopers, and they would have their own classes and systems based like that.
Yeah.
But this game wanted to take the route of a more Call of Duty-esque sort of thing, where, and I don't have a problem with this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a problem with the idea that they couldn't have implemented skins.
Yeah.
That's my thing. The way that Battlefront 2 plays, I don't think that it's inherently bad. I think that it actually works really well, and it's fun to level up. It's honestly fun to when I say level up, also I mean that in the sense of okay, so I need this many kills to get this gun. Okay, now that I got this gun, I need about this many kills with this gun to get this new attachment. Stuff like that's fun. I really enjoy that in a shooter or multiplayer game. But could you imagine, if you will, that let's say the loot box system or loot crate system was like you open a crate and you have now the gun that you play with when you play as the droids now can have a different color on it, or oh, this droid has like a rad fucking like, or it has a C-3PO head because that's in the fucking movies.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of ideas and areas that they could go with these different characters, and I'm not looking to make the heroes fucking cool or unique. Like everyone's just like Alex says, like pimp Darth Vader skin, or people kept saying pink Darth Vader skin, like the pink one that was out for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that. I don't care if Han Solo's Millennium Falcon looks like a Hello Kitty head. I don't care. That's not what I'm talking
That'd be
about.
awesome.
What I'm talking about is kind of the shit that they had in the first game, but it was just quote unquote unlockable. When I go back and I think about like what is good about the game and what isn't good about the game, what's good about the game is how it's built. Mm-hmm. And I go, like there were so many options and routes that EA could have gone to hide the middle finger. And it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like it would not like there have been people that complained about it, of course, but it wouldn't have been a big deal. Not as big of a deal as it is. Mm-hmm. And for some reason they chose this route. They chose this one route, and they've tried to keep backtracking. They've tried to change and adjust it, and it's like it's not gonna work. Like, I hate to say it, as much as I've enjoyed playing the game, it's dead in the water. For multiplayer purposes, for multiplayer sake, like there's a huge factor in the game that doesn't work for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's that blasters in general, everybody's blaster is the same inaccurate as everybody's blaster. In the Star Wars universe, blasters are not accurate. So if you're firing at somebody, your blaster lasers are going to kind of go in this like spread, and you're going to miss a lot, even though you have your crosshairs on somebody, and you might lose the battle even though you got the drop on them because, well, your laser was just inaccurate, and that's not fun from a multiplayer standpoint. And I get that. For me, it's fun just because, I don't know, I adjust to it. I know it. Like, my brain just kind of, like, works with it. But it's not going to work for everybody by a long shot. And unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed the story, a lot of people critique the story for being too easy. It follows a lot of the same patterns and paths that other Star Wars stories have gone now. Yeah. So, I get the critiques, and I get where everyone's coming from. I may not agree with all of it, but at this point in the game's lifespan, it is DOA. And
it is. I think that with everything that's happened to EA, everything's happened to this game. I think that anything that EA says at this point is just spit in the wind. I don't think you can recover from this. Like the last time we had this of a DOA type of situation as of late was the No Man's Sky situation. And
I also still get angry about how people react to that, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think just in regards to this, like, yeah, you're totally right. I think that is definitely BS on EA in this article as far as like what they're saying about trying to make it canon when you have freaking Luke Skywalker fighting Rey or fighting alongside Rey. And what have you, having cosmetics would be more welcomed initially with this game than how it is now. So, but my guess is the fact that Disney and or Star Wars were trying to push the brand.
One or two things. Yeah, one or two things is going to happen. EA is going to completely change how they do microtransactions and change how they're going to do Star Wars games from here on out, which is unlikely. Or Disney's going to take it away from EA and give it to a new studio.
I'm on the side that they're going to take away the license. That's my prediction as far as like what's going to happen, and it can happen. So, all right.